Thank you so much. I want to thank the European Internet Forum for inviting me to discuss a global and timely topic. My remarks are my own and should not be attributed to any organization. The proliferation of hate, violence, and malicious disinformation online is a scourge that must be addressed. It impacts public trust in the sources of information that we receive, public trust in our neighbors and communities, and public trust in our democratic institutions. We had a rude awakening 16 months ago. The stunning outcome of the US presidential race was accompanied by the ominous realization that a foreign nation had tampered with our elections and was doing the same in Europe. The intruders surreptitiously fed scurrilous lies to segments of our population designed to incite racial hatred and division, and to discourage targeted Americans from voting. They expertly use social networking tools to execute their plan, and they continue to do so today. Social media companies play an invaluable role in our daily lives, contributing countless benefits. But these companies were very slow to recognize the magnitude of the problem and to take responsibility for solving it. They were caught off guard. Some were tone deaf, but the majority get it now. And most have taken important steps, recognizing that they have much more to do. We should be very clear about the distinction between taking responsibility, which social platform companies must do, and incurring liability, which they should not have to do. The Good Samaritan protection the US law unleashed enormous innovation, creating a global public square where users upload their own content. YouTube recently testified that 300 hours of content are uploaded every minute. The EU's e-commerce safe harbor enables tech companies voluntarily to remove user-generated content that is illegal or that violates the platform's terms of service without risking being sued. This is important. Without such protections, Facebook, Amazon, and countless others might not provide the services that we've all come to enjoy. Public hearings on both sides of the Atlantic have been effective in driving change and have kept the pressure on. Bravo! But I would caution against taking the next step and legislating rules. It's tempting, but good intentions sometimes make bad law. I know from experience, as a member of the US Federal Communications Commission, I saw how difficult it was to regulate the internet when technology and the marketplace are rapidly evolving. It can easily lead to unintended consequences. Legislation is imprecise, a product of many compromises and political demands. It introduces uncertainty. It often takes years to enact, and by then, the rules may be outdated by the velocity of digital transformation. And as grueling as it is to enact rules, and I know you all know what that means, amending them is just as challenging. In a democratic society, we should be alarmed when government either directly or indirectly through online platform proxies curtails fundamental right of freedom of expression. Companies should not be deputized to be the arbiters of whether content is illegal. That's a role for government and the courts after due process. The pressure to take down terrorist content online within an hour of referral strongly incentivizes online service providers to remove controversial but legal content without adequate time for human assessment. Speech is nuanced, it's contextual. It may be satire or a plea to end genocide. The internet is global. Censorship imposed by one country limits what all of us can access. And censorship mandated by one government gives license to less noble regimes to do the same. Nations categorize speech differently. Some countries ban forms of hate speech, while in neighboring countries, such online content may be abhorrent but lawful. While real harm may come from malicious dissemination of false information online, not all of it is illegal. A free and open global internet affords access to information about corruption, genocide, and government atrocities that tyrants do not want their citizens to access. These regimes may pass such posts as terrorist or illegal and demand that they be taken down and even impose heavy fines for failure to do so. China excels in getting communications companies that have permission to operate in their country to wipe out all speech that the government has banned. Just this past week, the Associated Press reported that Chinese authorities have tightly controlled discussion about party changes, allowing Xi to rule indefinitely, scrubbing social media of critical and satirical comments. And during a recent conference that we had at SAIS, a Chinese professor proudly noted, "We do not have a problem in China with hate speech on our internet." True. So what should we be doing? Convene and support multi-stakeholder groups like the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism that are tackling future problems as well as the ones we see today. Expand digital literacy education, giving both our youth and our adults the tools by which to separate what is real from what is false. Support journalism schools and provide grants to NGOs that are rating a wide spectrum of trusted news outlets, and encourage platform companies to increase transparency without undermining their proprietary systems and algorithms. Let's take a collective deep breath. Let's absolutely keep pushing social platform companies to work harder, but let's give them the space to properly screen, hire, and train monitors. Let's give them the time to evaluate, draft, and test machine learning tools or other tech-based systems. And let's give them the protection from intermediary liability so that their platforms can deliver what users favor without deputizing them to be adjuncts of the Ministry of Truth. Working together in a transatlantic solidarity, we can inspire a vibrant global internet of the future. Thank you.